Winona in Wartime will come to life next week during the annual Winona County Historical Society Cemetery Walk. This is the 16th year that Janelle Moore has organized the fundraiser.
My role is to gather the information, the historical data that Walt digs up in the archives, and go through it and try to pick the story out that we can use to narrow the story down. And that way I can kind of give them a tentative storyline, and I get that out to the script writers, who we recruited some really good script writers through the years, and they write up the script. And then my other part is to find the actors. We use between 50 and 60 a year because we do this 5 days plus one evening, so it's a lot of parts. Each site has maybe 3 to 5 people in each one, and I try to double cast most of those because it is such a long run. And we're using volunteers, and many of them have jobs or they're in school, so we need to get a lot of people to fill those parts. So then it's my jigsaw puzzle to put that all together and make sure every site is filled every day, and to get them to rehearse. I found out if we feed them, we have pizza here, so if we feed them and they come over the supper hour, that seems to be our best time to get people together. But
as Moore mentioned, the event runs on volunteers, a lot of them.
I have almost 60 actors involved, and then there's, of course, there's the guides that take people from site to site, and the people that handle the parking, the people at the gate that sell the tickets and bring cookies and so forth, and then we have the publicity, the advertising people. It's quite a amazing committee. Each person has their job, and each person does their job, and we don't have to worry about it ever getting done. A great committee.
Ray Felton of Winona is a longtime volunteer. He enjoys it because it combines two of his interests.
I've done some acting. I like history, and it melds together very nicely. And when I got a chance to do this one about soldiers, actually in Winona during war, I decided I'd really like to see if I could do something with it. Now, when I started doing the research, I realized that Winonans have fought in every war. We even have some Spanish-American War veterans buried up in Woodlawn Cemetery, but I focused on the Civil War. For one thing, we only have a short period of time to do this. And the other thing that got me was the amount of written material, archival material. Men really expressed, and women expressed their feelings very strongly in those days. There was a lot of letter writing. There weren't a whole lot of censors, so the letters are much more uncensored. And the other thing is, we have extracts from diaries. And diaries were something that were kind of eliminated or forbidden by combatants in later wars. But the Civil War, we have a rich material, and the Civil War impacted Winona and the state of Minnesota and this country as much as any war ever has.
This year's theme focuses on wartime Winona through the ages.
Yes, one of the things, you see a lot of publicity about the wars and the battles, and you see movies and things like that, and we wanted to kind of focus on what happens to a town when the country is at war. How does it affect the townspeople, and what happens to a community when they're at war? How does it change life? And we wanted to kind of bring that into focus, as well as with the children especially, showing them the impact that sending a soldier off to war, whether he came back or did not come back or came back wounded, what that did to the soldiers as well as their families and the community.
The event usually draws quite a crowd and is popular with area schools.
We have about 500 to 600 school children come on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 8th, 9th, and 10th. We last year added a Thursday night performance at 7 o'clock here at the museum for those that don't want to trek around the cemetery, and then we do it for the public on the 11th and 12th, Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon, and we're hoping for beautiful weather again.
Admission is $7 for adults, $5 for students 13 and older, and $3 for youth 12 and under. Groups will assemble at the front gate of the cemetery about every 10 minutes. There will be musical entertainment and speakers in character at the gate, along with cookies, cider, and water for sale.
Now, if you cannot walk through the cemetery, there are special tours on the Trester Trolley. The characters along the walk will just come to you, and that's at no extra charge. You need to reserve your seat, however, by calling the Historical Society in advance at 454-2723, and then you'll just pay your admission at the gate the day of the tour. The trolley tours leave at noon each day of the walk.